somehow I have won a golden ticket. So I won one of these bad boys for getting best overall. I also got best painted whilst I was there. I'm still just really trying to wrap my head around the day and the fact that I've got a golden ticket to attend the World Championships of Warhammer and play Kill Team on a global stage. I thought I would just sit down and take a minute today to thank, obviously, the organisers and my opponents. To be honest with you, I'm struggling to process all this at the moment. So, yeah, let's just get into it, eh? These little fellas here kind of got me they got me a best painted, which was sick and was absolutely overjoyed, made up when I got that announced. I have put my heart and soul into the sort of third edition paint scheme here with like the red stripe on the side of the head and the carapace markings and stuff like that. So to get best painted was fantastic, but then obviously, you know, to get best overall and get like one of these cool ass metal medals to take home, just fantastic. Winning the golden ticket obviously is an incredible opportunity. It's all kind of really made me look back on things as well. I was teaching Kill Team to 3 of my friends in my kitchen. The 4 of us were crammed around like trestle tables with all of our Kill Team terrain set up in the middle of my kitchen because we didn't have a local scene back when the edition dropped. Then we had our first tournament in the Liverpool area. It was like 6 or maybe 8 people all told. And then on from there, you know, I've attended 30, 40, 50, 60 man events up and down the country. Made countless friends, like-minded dorks just like me who kind of love the painting, love the lore, love the game itself. I know it sounds lame, but what a cool scene to be in, you know. But more than anything, guys, I'm just grateful. You know, this hobby's given me sort of stories to tell, places to go, reasons to get up and down the country, cool painted minis. It's given me a skill that I've got to build on and be validated with. It's given me shitloads of awesome friends with like-minded sort of outlooks on things, and now the chance to go to Barcelona and play this game on a global stage. So this is the bit of the video where I do a little YouTube call to action. If you want to see me go to Worlds, please subscribe to the channel. So first of all, obviously, I'd like to say thank you to the event organisers. The UKTC is obviously a sort of massive organisation, but Deck and Johnny were running the event for Kill Team on the day. And I know these guys from the Yorkshire Kill Team community. They always do an amazing job. Their events are always spot on. Ran like clockwork, basically, you know. And I just think they always kill it. There isn't really much more to say other than one really sort of nice touch I found was in the entries for best painted. They had these like sort of textured cards laid out with different like battlefields as well as the numbers that you usually get on them. You weren't just plopping your models down, you know, on a blank, you know, a blank canvas or a blank bit of wood or a blank coloured table or anything like that. You actually had something to sit them on. And I kind of think it may have done a little bit for me in terms of getting the best painted award, because I didn't have a diorama for them to sit on or anything like that. It was just the minis themselves. So I kind of think it gave me a little bit of a backdrop to sit my minis on. It was just a really nice touch. You could kind of put your minis down in a little sort of space reserved for you instead of just picking a piece of paper up with a number on it. So from the bottom of my heart, Deck, Johnny, thank you so much. I am so grateful. Obviously, as well, I also need to talk about the 4 games that I played throughout the day and the 4 wonderful opponents that I got to play against as well. My first opponent was Tim, and he travelled all the way up from Bristol. Actually, he had a beautifully painted murder wing. This sort of orange yellow scheme. It looked super cool, but one of the coolest touches I found, or the 2 coolest touches that I can think of off the top of my head, is there was like sort of intake vents on the top of the jetpacks of the murder wing, and they had like a lightning coursing through them, and that was painted with like, you know, a really neon blue with like veins of white in it, and that looked really cool. As well as a bounce light. So the models were based on bases with like a neon purple tufts, and a purple bounce light had been applied on the underside of the armor, which just it was just a really interesting touch that kind of grounded the minis in the environment because of that, like taking into consideration of ambient light. I just, yeah, excellently painted minis. The game itself was a bit of a landslide for me. It was 10-17 in the end, but that is not really any fault of Tim's, because we were playing on Into the Dark and I was playing Raveners. So it's like all of his best stuff's been switched off and all of my best stuff is like turned up to 11. Very difficult matchup for him. And he took it on the chin like a champ. You know, sometimes people can be a little bit put out and a little bit upset if they lose a game, and it was none of that. It was all very good spirits, and we kind of just got on with it, and I had a good time. Yeah, cannot complain about the first game at all. Lovely fella, Tim. If you're watching, thanks for the game, mate. Cheers. My second game was against the lovely Lancashire Ryan. Now, he is one of about 300 Ryans that play Kill Team, but I am pretty certain he is the best of them, and I am made up to report that Ryan actually went on to win first place in the tournament as well, which means he got a golden ticket as well. So I'll be able to see him in Barcelona, hopefully, later in the year. That my second opponent was going to be difficult. I didn't realise it was going to be winner of the tournament difficult. Ryan played an excellent game with Angels of Death. They were painted in this really sort of gritty, realistic, matted down Imperial Fists yellow. They looked amazing. They had like an accompanying transport that it was just for show as well. That looked sick. Really reminded me of the Astartes animation. Very grounded and like a sort of reality-based paint job. Wonderful to see. And also a really tense, fiercely fought game. I think this game, out of all the games, was probably the most difficult for me in the tournament. Ryan just had a really good game plan from the get-go. He separated his 2 forces, knowing that I was 1 mini down because I've only got 5 models with the Raveners. And he planted his banner on one side of the kill zone, which kind of meant I had to divide my forces heavily, and ultimately it did pay off. I did get a really nice double blast shot with the Venom Spitter in the start of the second turning point, but it didn't pay off quite as well as I wanted it to. I was hoping to kill 1 out of the 2 Marines, and I didn't. And then obviously that Venom Spitter was killed in return, which put me on the back foot a little bit, you know. Either way, really, really well fought game. Ryan deserved the win. And I came out of that game like on a high, because it was a really fierce and really well fought game. Hit my prime, and Ryan's captain had like a sort of a really cool 1v1 on top of his banner towards the end of the game, which was like really tense. His sniper as well, MVP for the whole game. His sniper covered the right side of the field. Aggressive play right up the board, and managed to kind of shut me down on the side of the board that I was weighted towards as well. He played it really well. Some of my stuff didn't pay off, so in the end, Ryan beat me 14-10. It was a well-deserved win, but to see him go on and claim first place and get a golden ticket as well, incredible. Like, can't think of anyone more deserving of that. And I guess I'll see you in Barcelona, Ryan, yeah. My third game was also really, really special. I got to play against Duran, as in Duran Duran. Unbelievably cool name. But He came all the way from South Africa and he brought this excellent, like, sort of specially converted battle plate team with neon green kind of almost like Necron tech glowing OSL on them. Really, really cool. Really, really interesting. I'll try and get pictures chucked up as I'm going for all these things that I'm describing. But again, another really, really well fought game. I think there was a path to victory at one point. I missed out on a couple of loot points. He might have ended up with more kill points anyway, so I probably still would have lost. But either way, that one resulted in a 14-15 loss, which was heartbreaking for me, but did really get me thinking. Battlefield have got legs, and I've got Battlefield just sitting in my little ongoing project box up there, waiting to be built. So, yeah, incredibly cool game. Duran, if you're watching me, you have inspired me to pick my Battlefield up and get them painted. I don't think they're going to be half as interesting or as cool as your conversions, though. They were really, really cool minis, man. Excellent hobby on display for the kill team itself, and equally excellent play as well. He played a really clean, really clinical game throughout and managed to eke out a 15-14 win against me. He beat me by 1 point. It was a bit of an upset for me. I went into the game, to be honest, thinking I'm on Into the Dark, I'm playing Raveners, I've got this, you know, and somehow I can't actually go to a kill team tournament without getting queued up into Maya. Maya is a homegrown girl from the Liverpool scene. She is actually one of the first people that I introduced to the game. We were playing in my kitchen downstairs literally a year and a half ago. I was teaching people the game when the new edition came out, and I always get queued up with it at every single tournament. It's like a preordained tradition. Like we just kind of break the Swiss pairing metrics completely and just get queued up against one another like every single time. As ever, fantastic game. But I knew what I was in for if I played Maya. I think Maya might actually be the single most played opponent that I've got in terms of rounds, certainly in tournaments anyway. But yeah, fantastic game. Maya knows how to run mandrakes. I managed to get a victory that time though with an 18-12. I would say though, I did shit my pants a little bit because I got charged in the first activation of the game. Pretty much, it was definitely in the first battle round, and just got chopped off by a mandrake. Yeah, my record just got absolutely obliterated by like 5 crits. It was fucking outrageous, to be honest. But from then on, I managed to kind of claw it back and come out on top in that game. So yeah, thanks, cheers, Maya. So when it comes to winning best overall, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm not sure if it means that I'm not the full McCoy because I didn't podium and get first place, or it makes me like a Renaissance man because I've won on the hobby side, and that's where all the creativity is and things like that. But obviously, I'm super grateful, and it's kind of cool because it's about the wider tournament experience. I thought it might be interesting whilst I'm here making a video today to talk about the best overall award as well, because obviously it's judged differently to podium placings, although that is a factor. The 3 factors that come together to make it are sportsmanship, painting, and then your final placing within the tournament. I'm rambling today. Generally speaking, I've always kind of taken the painting side of the hobby more seriously than the rest. I really like that developmental aspect. You know, you can learn from every paint job that you do. You can get a little bit better, a little bit more controlled, and stuff like that. And to be justified with the best painting award was fantastic. And I do think that one of the strengths of Kill Team as a hobby is the fact that we can lavish so much detail and time on these smaller units, as opposed to, you know, a big 50 to 100 to 150 model strong army like big 40k. The sportsmanship side of things is obviously something that is very difficult to control, in terms of, like, you can't really go in expecting to get a best overall. And I'm not saying there's any way to control those things, because you can't control whether you get on with someone, and you can't control whether someone actually sort of likes you, especially if you're an intense guy. I feel like the more intense a player is, the more difficult it is to rein in that sort of that side of things. Although it can be done, I've played some incredibly sporting players who are very clear with the rules. Two that spring to mind immediately are Tom Shaw and Adam Hartman. Both of those players play a mean game, but are also very transparent and very upfront about their about the experience that you are having as an opponent. But both of those players are very upfront about the in-game experience as well, and they just want you to have a good time, which is so important. I think across the board, regardless of winning fucking golden tickets and things like that. So the sportsmanship side of things is something that is very difficult to control, because you can't decide really whether someone subjectively likes you or not when you're playing a game with a social contract like Kill Team. But because of that social contract, it is super, super important. I'm a very chilled out player. I don't kind of push the sweat, really sort of try and bend or break rules in any kind of way to my advantage. So it is fairly easy for me to be sporting, and I find the further you are up on the bell curve in terms of skill, it must get so difficult, because you're gonna have to deal with more and more edge cases in terms of rules. But I don't have to worry about that. I'm a fairly simple player, really. But sportsmanship is huge in the hobby and in general. Fuck golden tickets. Like, just be a sporting player. Every single game you play, you want your opponent to have a good time. You want to have a good time, but you want your opponent to have a good time, and you want to know that you're both on the same page and things like that. I let my opponents rewind a couple of things in my games because we were talking out combats, and for example, there was one opportunity where an operative could live if we did things in a certain sequence, and the acid blood didn't go off in that sequence of events. So I kind of give my opponents a little bit of leeway, a little bit of space to breathe, and space to sort of express themselves without feeling too locked in and too rigid. That's not for everyone. Obviously, some people prefer a much tighter, much more straight up and down game, which is fair enough. I can play like that as well if they want me to. But the point is, every opponent you run into, you're going to have to gauge them. You don't have to get people to try and like you, but just be transparent and honest, like Adam Hartman, just like Adam Hartman and Tom Shaw are as players who are also excellent and very good at the game. Finally, I do take my Kill Team game fairly seriously as well. I actually came to this tournament wanting to practice with Raveners. My main team, my one trick really is Brew Brothers. Still haven't pipped a podium, but I have come 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride. But I am on the but generally speaking, I can end up in that top third on a good day, and evidently that's all you need to come away with best overall if you're painting and your hobby side of things is on point and you're not being a dick to your opponents throughout the games and stuff like that. This kind of thing probably isn't going to mean much to most people, but it is a massive achievement for me, and I'm just so thankful. It feels like an achievement that reflects my sort of love of Kill Team, love of the hobby, and love of the game as a whole. And I'm so thankful, lads, that I get to go to Wales. Sick. That brings me to the biggest thing that I wanted to say, and that is the ticket was amazing, but the tournament would have been amazing without it anyway. These Kill Team tournaments can be seriously competitive, obviously. People practice to play the games. People practice the matchups. People practice the map layouts. This game can be sweaty and intense in a lot of ways. And every one of these players is going to turn up wanting to play their best game. It can definitely put some players off. But people aren't practicing to win tournaments like this but people aren't putting all this practice in to win tournaments and putting all this practice in to play this game because they feel lukewarm about it. Tournaments are sick because you get to spend the weekend with like-minded players, players who love this dorky game, this dorky little game where we paint tiny little plastic men and make them fight just as much as you do. The scene grows, the meta evolves, people get better at painting, people get better at playing the game, people get better at weird little niche tactics and stuff like that. Like it's all fun. Yeah, for me, these things are just so cool because they are about catching up with your mates that can live halfway across the country sometimes, sharing incredible hobbies, sharing sick paint jobs, the stories behind these paint jobs, and look, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But watching a load of grown men queuing over minis, sharing like tactical tips and trying to get the edge on the next game that they play, or discussing map layouts and the best strategies to approach a certain situation. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, get yourself down to a tournament. And if there isn't tournaments going, start a scene. And if you don't like the scene in your area, start your own scene. Get 3 of your mates in the kitchen, teach them to play Kill Team, and it'll blow up and you can do what you want with it. So to everyone who's supported the channel, play games with me at Kill Team tournaments, play games with me on TTS online, just come to chat with me about Kill Team in general and being part of the scene. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for being given this opportunity and very excited to get to Barcelona. If you want to carry on following this Kill Team journey, see if I can get the time off from work and actually make it to Worlds, then like and subscribe. See you next time, guys.